Hey everybody, it's Luke over at Galaxy Tech Review, and today I've got a product from Amcrest. This is the Amcrest ASH21-B 1080p Wi-Fi indoor security camera. This has a ton of different features that you can use with this camera if you want to check on your house or your office when you're away. You can definitely use this camera to do so. We're going to dig into this now, and I'll be right back. Okay, so this is everything that you get once you get it out of the box. You're going to get the main unit, all of the connecting cables here. You're going to get a get starting guide or a quick start guide. And up on the screen, I'm going to have the tech specs here. So if I miss anything during this review, you can come back to this point in the video and check it out. Hold on to all of this material. It shows you how to get hooked up to the app, which we're going to do today as well. But it's got a lot of good information in it to reference if you need to do so. They do give you some mounting hardware in case you want to not leave this standing up on a desk. You can mount it on the ceiling, you can mount it on the wall, and they give you the brackets and everything, plus a little guide for drilling the holes for the bracket as well. Now they do give you a rather long charge cable here, or AC cable I should say. It's a standard USB type A to micro USB cable, not USB type C, but it is long, which is good if you're going to position your camera in a place where you are a little bit further away from an AC outlet. And they do include a two-prong AC to USB adapter to power the unit as well. So you have everything that you need to power the unit right out of the box. Okay, so taking a look at the main unit, you can see it's a nice compact camera, which is great. If you turn everything up here, you're going to see that there is a spot for a microSD card. If you want to use that, it takes up to 256 gigabytes, and a reset button for resetting back to factory settings if you should run into issues. You do have dual microphones here as well as your lens. This does pan, tilt, so you're going to get a wide angle here. It's got four little spots here for rubberized spots to hold this on your desk in place or wherever you're going to have it, or you can mount it to the wall or ceiling depending on how you would like to. Now on the back of the device, we see that we do have a speaker here because there is two-way communication with the camera. You also have an option to use wired Ethernet, which is very nice to have as well. If you do not want to use your wireless network and you want to use wired Ethernet, you can. And of course, there is the micro USB for your power input. So that is the overview of everything that comes in the box when you get it open. Let's get this up and running and show you what it can do. Okay, so you're going to want to get the Amcrest Smart Home app, and you can get it for Android or iOS, of course. I have it on Android here. We're going to launch the application, and what you're going to notice is when you first plug in your camera, it's going to have a red blinking light, and when it's ready to be set up, it's going to turn to a green blinking light. Now, if you don't have anything set up in the app, it's going to have this big add device here in the middle, or you can just use the plus icon at the top. Going to ask you for permissions for taking pictures and video, and then it's going to ask you to scan the QR code for the device that's located on the bottom, or you can manually enter your serial number as well. So there is a QR code here on the bottom that I'm going to scan, and we can scan this and get it set up pretty quickly. So there you go. That was a quick and painless. Now it'll take you to a screen that says if you want to do Ethernet only setup, because this does have an Ethernet port in the back, or Wi-Fi setup so that you can get it set up on your Wi-Fi. We're going to do the Wi-Fi setup. I think most people will do Wi-Fi setup, although there are some out there that will probably do wired setup as well. Make sure the device is plugged in and make sure that you do have a blinking green light, and we do, so we're going to hit next and allow the device location, and it's going to search for devices. This can take just a few seconds, but you can see it's going to ask you to connect to a temporary Wi-Fi, which is the camera. So we're now connecting directly to the camera. And it's going to then ask you to set up a device password. This can be anything that you want it to be. And if you do forget this, you can always reset the device with the reset button and start over again. But make it a password, something that you can remember, and then you can continue on here. You can also set a recovery email in case you do forget it, and then that way you have a recovery email to recover that password. And once we put in that device password, it's going to ask us which Wi-Fi network we want to connect to. It only supports 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi, not 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi. So I'm going to do this right now, put in my Wi-Fi password, and then what this is going to do is it's going to upload that information to the camera so that way it's always on your Wi-Fi network and you can access it pretty much from anywhere in the world. So let's connect to that. It's going to upload that information to the camera, and then we should be ready to go to show you all of this. It's going to say wait until the LED indicator turns a solid green, which mine is, and click next again. And this should do it for this setup. Now my connection is now successful. I can name the camera anything I would like to. They give you a few different ones like bedroom, living room, office, but you can name it to whatever you would want. And then you can change your time zone as well. I am in the Eastern time zone, so I'm going to put it there. And now we can go to start live view. Okay, so now we're in the live view here, and you can see that we've got a bunch of different options. This application comes with a really nice selection of options to be able to use with this particular camera. You can see that there's cloud recordings, micro SD card. I do not have one in here, but it does support micro SD cards up to 256 gigabytes. And you also get a year of cloud recordings for free, and then you can decide whether you want to continue with cloud recordings. If we go into settings, you've got your motion detection, smart tracking. This is going to be able to track a moving object, and human detection. If it detects a human, it will try to track those and record those as well. So that's actually really cool. You can also set up email alerts, your SD card, your firmware update, your time zone, your Wi-Fi settings. All of that is located here. Restoring your default settings, rebooting the camera. In video settings, we can actually adjust these from SD to HD if you want to have them in SD or HD, depending on what you would like. You can adjust your contrast, your hue. You can adjust a lot of things such as your saturation, and even reset everything to defaults as well. You do have rotating of the camera as well. If you do have this mounted in an odd position, you can rotate 90 degrees or flip the image so that it comes out the way you would like it. You do have your night vision. You can set it to on or off, and you do have your speaker, and you can set the speaker to a low volume or a higher volume right from here. So you've got a ton of different things. Your push notifications here. You can turn off the indicator light. You can do a schedule, and you can delete the device. Now, as far as using it, you can do a multi-view or single view. So if you have other cameras, you can view them all at the same time. You can push this talk button or listen button. Talk button, obviously you can speak into the phone and it will actually come out of the camera. So if you need to talk to somebody remotely, you can do that. And listen is the same thing, or you'll be able to listen to the camera itself to hear what's going on around the camera. Now you do have your pan and tilt here, so some controls come up and I can pan and tilt right from here, and it's responsive and works very, very well. So panning and tilting is not a problem on this camera. I don't have any problems with the controls being slow or anything like that, so that is really cool. Now there's also a baby monitor function where you can set the alarm decibel level to either auto, always, or off. And this is so if you want to like monitor a baby and they start crying, if it gets over a certain decibel level, it will alert you of that. You can take snapshots here and record video as well, and they'll be saved right to your phone because that's what we're using active right now. And you can put this in full screen as well, and as you can see in full screen, it looks really good, crisp, clear picture. You can pinch to zoom in on objects if you need to, so that works out really well if you need to get up close to something. Now you have all of the buttons that we had in the portrait mode. You have them in landscape mode as well. Snapshots for taking pictures, multi-view, talking and listening. Of course, all of that is right here. So if I need to pan and tilt, it's going to come up on the left-hand side, and I can, of course, now pan and tilt the camera to get the view that I would like. So that's really cool. I like this pan and tilt action on this, especially in such a small camera. This works out really, really well. We have night mode here, so if I turn out all the lights, you're going to see it's going to take a few seconds. It's going to do up to 32 feet in night mode. So let's take a look at what we've got. It takes a few seconds to kick over, and there it goes. And we've got a clear, crisp picture in night mode. So night mode works really well on this as well, up to about 30 feet away. So you will be able to, check on things in your house while you're away. Even with the lights out, you're going to be able to see things in the surrounding area. So night mode definitely works very well with this camera. And last but not least, you can see the camera is trying to track motion. If you have the human tracking or the motion tracking on, it will actually try to record and track the motion that it senses. So this is a really cool feature that you don't see in a lot of other cameras. That is a very cool feature to have. You can see I get them in my alerts here, and it should come up as this first one right here. And as you can see, it is right here. It does take a few seconds to upload before they're available for viewing, but you can see the camera is still trying to track my hand as I'm moving in front of it. So this is something that is really, really cool that I did want to show off in at least a limited capacity to show you that the tracking definitely works and is a great feature. So there you go. That's my review of the Amcrest ASH21-B 1080p indoor Wi-Fi camera. This camera has a ton of different features that really work out very, very well. Night mode, tracking mode, all your pan and tilt and zoom works very, very well with the Amcrest app. The camera itself is nice and compact, so it can be put in a lot of different places in your home. So if you're looking for an indoor Wi-Fi security camera, you might want to check out this one from Amcrest. This was Luke from Galaxy Tech Review. I hope you enjoyed my review, and I'll check you guys out on the next one.